in that era, it just seemed like people didn't really care.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Metal Remains Backstage. This is Manuel from Madrid. We have Carlos in New York, and joining us all the way from Canada, we have Morgan Lander from Kittie.
Woo, hello. Hi, how's it going?
Great.
Great.
Happy to have you in our show. Very
Good.
excited of talking about Kittie.
Thank you. I mean, I'm happy to be here. I'm glad to be discussing all things Kittie with you.
Great.
Great. We would like to start the conversation, Morgan, by asking, what's on your playlist right now?
Oh, my playlist. Here, let me pull up I'm old, so I listen to Apple Music. I don't have like a strict playlist, but every once in a while I'm like, oh, I feel like maybe I'll listen to this or that. More recently, I actually started to get a bit more into the Evanescence catalog, which was actually something I've never done before. Like I'm sort of like a casual listener to Evanescence.
They're having a big resurgence with the single that just came out with Poppy.
Yeah.
So it's great times to listen to them.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that was probably the last thing that I listened to. But my playlist is always changing. Sometimes I go back to the 90s. A lot of times I like to check out what's new and cool as well. I jump all over the place, but that's probably what I've been listening to the most lately. Just sort of like diving in, and some of the albums from like the more mid to like late 2000s from Evanescence. Of course, everybody knows the first album with "Bring Me to Life," huge song. But they of course have a lot of other stuff going on too. So I've just been checking it out and seeing what's up. Because much like us, there's been a bit of a resurgence with interest with Amy Lee and Evanescence, and the song with Courtney and Poppy obviously is killer. So always love to support the ladies.
Absolutely.
Have you ever met them?
Yeah, actually, I've never met Poppy, but we are label mates. We are both currently signed to Sumerian Records. I've never met Amy Lee, but I have met Courtney before. We played in Germany at, I believe it was Rock and Park, where we got to meet. And there's even a photo of us on Instagram.
Awesome.
With Kat from Holy Wars as well, because we all actually have the same management. So it's cool that we were able to finally hook up and chat. And it was just like a real casual, like, let's just bro down. So it was very nice to meet Courtney, and she's awesome, incredible performer. Spirit Box is amazing. So
right, and I'm sure you're gonna have a chance to cross paths with the other ladies as well.
Yeah, definitely.
There are a lot of tours and things happening all the time.
Oh yeah. One day I'm sure. We're all like, there have been a lot of shows recently where we've been on the same bill as Poppy, a lot of headline or like bigger festivals and stuff. Poppy was there for some of the European stuff, I believe, that we did earlier this year. Just never cross paths in like a friendly way.
Well, you just talked about what's new and cool, and that's something we love in our channel. And on that vein, last year you took the metal community by storm with Fire, the first release from Kittie in well over a decade. How did you find the state of the metal world upon returning to the spotlight?
Well, I mean, things are a lot different now. I remember the late 90s and early 2000s when we first started our career, the days of like street teams and people handing out flyers and a lot more physical media. So obviously there are some changes that with how things work now, with promoting an album and things like that are very different than when we even started doing stuff, and also in the mid to late 2000s as well. But I think metal is thriving right now. I think there are, there always seems to be, a new and upcoming band, and a lot of ladies representing as well, which I love to see. I think the state of metal is doing pretty good. There seems to be a lot of interesting, like almost mainstream crossovers with a lot of things as well, which I think can only help to like give more visibility to metal and sort of be more of a gateway for people to
Lots of Jimmy Fallon appearances.
Yeah, exactly that. And like, actually, speaking of which, everybody is talking about Drowning Pool, doing that. Like, I mean, and like, they're old school. We know those guys from way back in the day. So it's like, what's old is new again, and everybody's excited. And yeah, it's just thriving. It's making its way into the mainstream in a lot of interesting ways, and I think it only serves metal, and all of its genres in that way.
Yeah, and you were saying like Poppy and Kearney are very popular right now, and I have seen them in here in the States in Broad TV making interviews with a news channel.
CBS.
And that obviously helps to spread the word, to get open to even bigger markets. So those are great things happening right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, celebrating the 25th anniversary of your debut album, Speed, you're about to release the EP, Speed 25. We enjoy it and found it to be a blast from the past with a modern twist. How did you choose which songs will make the cut?
Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you've liked what you've heard so far. For a really long time, and I'm talking like probably like 20 years, we have internally discussed the idea of re-recording some of those songs in various stages of our career for many different reasons. Some of them the Taylor Swift reason, like, we don't we don't own those masters, so and so it only makes sense. But like, I think ultimately being able to celebrate in this way and mark 25 years of Kittie and of Spit, of being a band out in public is a really cool way to celebrate. I think it was pretty easy to choose the songs. I know that like we had discussed redoing the entire album, which I think it's tough, right? Like some of those songs I think may not have translated as well, like with a more modern twist. And so for us, we chose songs that we still play live, and so they've had the chance to evolve over time. Songs like Brackish, like Charlotte, like Spit, Do You Think I'm a Whore? Those songs we have played live all throughout our career since they've been released. And when you take a song out on the road and you've played it thousands of times, it starts to change and become a little different. And, you can compare back to back. Like they're still the same song, but there's a lot of different things kind of going on. The musicianship, you can clearly tell, is different as well. So we wanted to choose the songs that we felt that we were able to update to represent who we are as a band now, and still sort of apply that same sound, that same those same sonics that we accomplished with Fire. It's kind of, we had Josh Wilbur mix, who also mixed Fire, and a fun little nod to the past with working with Garth Richardson again. So yeah, like, I mean, I think it was an easy choice because those songs have really become they've become different. They've become stronger with all of the play that they've got over the years. So we just wanted to give it a shot and see what happens. I think people are liking it so far.
Yeah, well, actually, Carlos and I have listened to the whole deal. Shout out to Sumerian for providing it. I personally love the arrangements. There's a bit of a down tuning, I think, that goes very well. If I'm not mistaken, the voice also has matured as well, and I think it's more potent overall. So I think that what you mentioned is completely true. You have evolved those songs with the live performances, and it shows.
I think potent is a good word for it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it sounds heavier the way I like it, and I love that. And I'm sure there were probably some nostalgia and memories floating around during the recording sessions for those songs.
Yeah, absolutely. We really had a great time with Garth. It was really lovely to revisit the songs and just kind of talk about our experience then, because it it happened very quickly back in 1999 when we recorded Spit with him. Like, we went into the studio, we were there for only 9 days, and I mean, we spent like 14 days just doing those 4 songs with him this time around. And so, it was really neat to go back and relive a lot of those memories and just kind of talk and reminisce and stuff. It's also kind of fun, a fun little anecdote that when we recorded Spit the first time, we didn't have a lot of really great musical equipment. And so Garth had trucked in like a bunch of his really amazing vintage amps and things like that, many of which he still has at his studio out west. And we used some of those same amps that we recorded with on the first album, and just sort of threw them in there. Just like as a way to sort of like recapture things, but also, again, it is a more modern and updated and potent version of those songs, which it was just great to be able to reminisce. I think there's been a lot of reminiscing happening surrounding the 25th anniversary.
Now that we are a bit nostalgic, part of the promotion for Spit 25, you have something very nice on your website, and I brought something special for you. It's not going to be, to call it a gift, it will be too much, but something just to reminisce. Carlos and I, of course, were kicking it in the 2000s, and this using the character creator that you have put on your website. I just wanted to show you how we would have looked back then. So there you go.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Look at you guys.
Because
I love that.
I used to have hair.
I look younger.
Yeah, I look younger. Didn't we all back then?
Yeah.
We're still young inside.
Yes, we are.
We were about the same age, but you were already leaving a big mark in the history of music. So
yeah,
right.
Wild stuff. Wild stuff.
Morgan, it has been said the financial burden of touring was hitting hard on the band, and even after the band's return in 2022, making long tours was not part of the plan. How has this matter evolved at the moment?
Well, I think some of the statements that we made towards the end of like when we just sort of stopped touring, I mean, they were very true. It is not. It's not cheap to tour. It's not cheap to put together, a headlining tour, and especially at that particular moment in our career. Like, I'll be totally honest. Like, we stopped playing, music and stopped touring because it just seemed like people didn't really care. We had a lot less people coming to our shows, a lot less people buying and listening to our music. And, this is in, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, that era, where I think personally we put out some of our best albums, like In the Black and I Failed You are so killer. But it just didn't have the visibility and the scope that we have now.
Yeah.
And so, when you're not in demand, people aren't paying you. Promoters are not paying you.
I blame the pirates in that time. Napster.
Yeah, well,
such.
That time, like in the mid 2000s to late 2000s, there was a lot of just music pirating going on. And I can't remember who it was. Somebody had showed me the download numbers of some of our albums, like back when it wasn't like Napster or whatever, but it was just like straight up downloading from like Pirate Bay, things like that. And it was staggering to me. I was like, wow, all of those downloads could have transferred into sales that could, support an artist. Yeah, support an artist, support a tour, help a person who, has given their life to art, to pay their bills or whatever. Like, and, that's not just talking about me. This is also a generalization, as artists, we really rely on that, to help to keep the machine running, because it's not free.
Yeah, I don't know about download numbers, but you're coming up on almost 1 million listenings on Spotify monthly.
Mhm.
So at least
Mhm.
on that
Yeah,
front.
that's an
So
important number.
yeah, we're really glad of seeing that.
Yeah, thank you so much, and we are as well. You know, it's been really interesting to see the resurgence of people listening to the band and discovering the band. And I do credit some of the algorithm for directing people our way. We have a lot of really young fans, and it's really amazing to see. The algorithm just like sends them our stuff, and it's like, wow, I just discovered this new band. And we continue to have a lot of fans that have supported us for the last few decades that we've been a band, and that is amazing as well. But it's always neat to see that people are rediscovering or just discovering the band, and I think that's part of those numbers that you can see on some of those streaming services.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, it blows my mind. It's wild.
Algorithm, keep those people coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. And now there are many bands we have right now, like Burning Witches, Crypta, Dogma. But Kittie was one of the first all-female bands right at the start of the new millennium. How does it feel to have laid the ground for a whole generation of musicians inspired by your band's work?
I mean, it's a big question. Because I would never take full credit for any of that. However, I do recognize that we came onto the scene early enough that the industry and journalists and the people of metal weren't really sure what to do with us. And so to me that indicates that we were doing something that hadn't really been done before for the genre of music that we were playing. I mean, like there's always been all female bands like in the 80s, 90s or whatever, but for some reason, like in the moment when new metal was just sort of hitting its peak and things like that, we came onto the scene, and that became a thing.
A statement.
But yeah, and I am truly grateful that maybe some of the things that we experienced and some of the not so great things that we experienced, we had to go through them in order to help make it easier for other women later on in the scene. And like I said, I would never be so presumptuous to say that we did that, but I think that sometimes it is nice to see that people feel that we helped to pave that way. And I think it's amazing.
You guys definitely did that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And don't worry, because everybody else, we know it.
Well, thank you.
And Morgan, we would like to wrap up this lovely chat by asking, can you share with us one of your favorite backstage moments?
Oh gosh. I mean, there's been so many, like so many. One of something that's coming to mind, and the recent unfortunate death of Ozzy Osbourne is like picking up vibes from the past. We've done a lot of really cool things in our career, but I think some of the coolest was like getting the opportunity to have a photo shoot with Ozzy. We did that way back in the day, and he was lovely. It was super cool, and Sharon Osbourne was on the phone in the other room, like tearing someone a new asshole.
Like she does.
Yes, absolutely.
She was working.
Yeah, it was exactly. It was real powerful. It was real awesome. And so yeah, like a really cool memory like that. And then when we ended up on the Ozzfest, I had the opportunity to shoot again with Ozzy and like Phil Anselmo and Wayne Static, RIP as well. And so like yeah, like it's been a really crazy life, and I've been blessed enough to be adjacent to such greatness, and been in such greatness present. So yeah, those are some of my fun backstage.
Well,
that's amazing.
That's a big leagues of backstage moments.
Yeah,
it's pretty big. Yeah.
And I will say part of that moment, you need to recognize your input on this.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you. always try to remain humble and recognize, just one small piece of the larger puzzle. But it is really nice to be able to be back and reflect on things 25 years later and feel like the world is ready for Kittie, and we're ready to continue. So yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I hope we can join you soon, hopefully here in Madrid or in New
Absolutely.
York. We're going to be looking out for tour news from Kittie.
Absolutely. We'll have some things planned for next year, so you'll be the first to know.
Okay, great.
Awesome.
There you have it. If you like this interview, please like it, share it with your friends. Make sure to buy and stream Spit 25, which is coming out on September 19th, to double support Kittie. And of course, go see them live whenever they come to a city near you.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
See you next time, but until then, stay metal.
Yeah.